Thank you, folks, for tuning in to your Channel 6 News. Today is October 21st, 1984, and I'm here with Melanie for your measles message update coming in hot.
Jackie, have you heard of our latest disease comeback, measles?
Yeah, I think I've heard about it before.
The measles made its first appearance in 1912 when it became a nationally notifiable disease in the United States when we had our first epidemic. Let me tell you about how it spreads. Measles is a contagious red rash disease. Sneeze, you catch it. Cough, you catch it. Hug, catch it. Sneeze again, have a baby, give a handshake, walk through a room where someone else sneezed, have another baby, and you could have measles. If you guys aren't convinced on how cautious you should be with this yet, check out these cool specs. Jackie, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Did you know that you could have measles for up to 2 weeks unknown to you or anyone else around you?
No, I didn't know.
And then we get the party started with a little fever, cough, runny nose, red eyes, and then in 2 days,
2 short days?
white spots will appear all in the mouth, and then 3 to 5 days after,
3 to 5 days?
you will begin with a rash that starts at your hairline and goes all the way down to your toes.
Melanie, how long does it last and how long are you contagious for?
Excellent question, Jackie. People are contagious 4 days before the rash appears and 4 days after.
4 days?
Yep, 4 days. The conditions last for a few weeks, so be prepared to be out of commission for that entire time. Worst part is there's no cure, so once it starts, be ready to experience full-blown effects.
Wow.
You can spare yourself all this by getting the MMR vaccine. Measles message out.
And that's a wrap, folks. On to Steve with the weather. Hi, I'm Jackie with Channel 6 News. Today on January 5th, 2016, to introduce you into an inside look at the latest disease outbreak, measles, in Disneyland. It infected 52 people, and I'm here today to give you an exclusive interview with Melanie, our local microbiologist. Here we have with us today is Melanie, an expert in the field to answer all of your burning questions about the new outbreak. So, I thought measles was eliminated in the U.S. Why are we seeing new cases?
Well, yes, Jackie. The United States did declare in 2000 that measles was eliminated. However, eliminated and eradicated are two different things. Eliminated is just when the disease is not present for a period of 12 months, but eradicated is when it's completely gone. Our goal here is eradication. Eradication would look like every country and every part of the world not experiencing measles whatsoever. The World Health Organization, or WHO, is hoping to have measles eradicated by 2020.
Great. Okay, Melanie. So how did it spread to Disneyland of all places?
Well, our best guess is that it spread to Disneyland by an infected individual coming to the park while on vacation or something like that. And it's a great place to spread disease because there's so many people from all over the world that have either been vaccinated or not. And when they go back to their respective countries, it just spreads the disease so well. Epidemiologists in our lab have been trying to find out where the outbreak may have originated from. Our best guess is possibly the Philippines, since the strand is identical to the one from the Philippines, which actually did sicken over 50,000 people and killed 110.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never thought about how easily disease could spread through the world through just travel. With that being said, Melanie, is everybody who has been vaccinated safe from measles?
Well, Jackie, the short answer to that is no. Anyone can still contract the measles virus. However, if you've been vaccinated, the chances drop drastically. Our measles vaccination is one of the most effective around. It's 2 doses of it can cause an individual to be up to 97% safe from the measles virus. And the way this works is that the body will be exposed to a weakened form of the virus itself and allowing the body to build antibodies against this virus that the body will retain in its immunological memory.
So, Melanie, does that mean that both doses are important, or is one just enough?
No, one is definitely not enough. In about 5% of the people, the body does not have a full immunological response to one dose, so a second dose is important in ensuring that all people have a full bodily response to the virus to become immune.
Okay. Well, it seems to me that everyone should get vaccinated in hopes of eradicating the disease. Why are there anti-vaxxers who don't want to get vaccinated for this?
Well, there are some people who choose on their own not to become vaccinated, and others that have individual reasons as to why they cannot. To put it simply, if you can get vaccinated. The concept here is something called herd immunity, and this is when you have enough people in a population that are vaccinated that you have incidence of disease so low that you're protecting the people that are unable to get vaccinated. And reasons for being unable to get vaccinated sometimes include religion, being too young, or having allergic reactions to certain medications. So having herd immunity is super important in this.
Actually, we have someone with us here today who relies on herd immunity to be protected. Matt King, a current UF student. Thank you, Matt, for coming on with us today. So you couldn't get vaccinated. Why is that?
Well, when I was an infant receiving my first round of this vaccine, which is the MMR vaccine, I had a reaction to some of the ingredients inside, and the doctors weren't sure exactly what caused it. So they wanted to, in terms of having me be safe, they wanted me to be exempt from not only this vaccine, but all of their vaccines down the road.
Okay, so how do you protect yourself from all of these diseases then if you're not vaccinated?
Well, what's strange is that there's not really much that I can do. However, I really depend on the rest of the population being immunized against this disease. And it brings up the concept of what's called herd immunity. As long as, let's just say about 90% or more of the population has the vaccine, then it really reduces the amount of hosts that the virus can get into and start spreading through. So as long as other people are following the proper guidelines and the proper vaccinations, then I should be generally safe. However, I still have to take steps whenever I'm out in public to, avoid environments where people are obviously sick, or I can't even go traveling to certain countries or areas that are having outbreaks at the time.
So Matt, how does this affect you on your daily life?
Well, it's kind of strange because first of all, I'm a student at the University of Florida, and one of the things that I have to be worried about is that there's a lot of people from all over the world coming to study here and coming to live here. And the most alarming thing is that if there is a case or an outbreak on campus, then I actually have to be quarantined, probably somewhere in Shands, but they're not sure how to respond to it because it hasn't happened yet. But I would either have to be quarantined or they would have to physically remove me from the city. So it gets to be a little bit complicated in terms of what the response would be, but I always have that in the back of my head saying that, okay, this could be a serious occurrence if this were to actually happen.
Thank you, Matt.
No problem.
What are some of these non-medical reasons that people aren't getting vaccinated for?
Well, one big player to this is going to be religion. Some religions denounce vaccinations, while another big player is going to be autism. And parents believe that there is a correlation between autism and vaccines, and this is likely due to the fact that children show symptoms of autism at a very young age, which is correlated to the time frame that they're needing to be getting their vaccines. So parents tend to opt out for this reason. Also, some believe that the immune systems of children might just be overloaded in this sensitive time period. So there are just various reasons, and they continue. But the important thing is really to just have as many people vaccinated as possible, because if we have a number of anti-vaxxers increase, we will never be able to reach our dream of eradicating the disease.
Thank you. This has been a great talk. Thank you, Melanie, for being on the show with us. I really hope people realize the importance of getting their children vaccinated. We'll be right back after a commercial break. Hi, Jackie here with you today, October 15th, 2025. The death toll has risen from the new measles pandemic, despite our current efforts to treat the disease and create a new vaccine. However, Channel 6 News has an inside look and an important update from the World Health Organization in Switzerland. Matt, over to you.
Alrighty, and we are live here from the World Health Organization, where the amount of mutations is actually becoming very alarming. We are seeing very large amounts of both genetic drift and genetic shift, and the latter of those is the most important. Genetic shift is happening because more than one virus is able to attack the host cell at the same time. allowing them to recombine their genetic material, which in this case is RNA, and it's happening at rates that we cannot really combat. Scientists are struggling to keep up with vaccines, and the infections are spreading faster than we've ever seen before. In response to the anti-vax movement that happened in the late 2014 to 2017 timeframe, we are sadly not able to keep up with this infection. In 2014, we had over 667 people that got infected with this. And if you take a look, the cost of the MMR vaccine is so little, only just $12. If you take all that money we spent, which was over $20 million, and you take a look at what we could have done with that money, we could have vaccinated over 1.6 million people and have this problem be so much less than what it is today. But sadly, the anti-vax movement was really responsible for letting this disease come back into our society. Alrighty, and let's take a look at what you can do to protect yourself in this time of the disease spreading so rapidly. First of all, the most important thing is we must eliminate all travel to areas which have this outbreak. We currently cannot afford any more strains to come into our country and have the chance to mutate. Along with this, whenever you're traveling within our country, you need to make sure that you're well hydrated and well energized, because the disease is easier spread to people who are out of energy or immunocompromised. And finally, since all of our children are at an even higher risk, we really need to make sure that whenever you bring them to daycare or whenever you bring them to school, you need to make sure that both of those places are keeping up with the required vaccine requirements that the World Health Organization has put out. So overall, about 10 years ago, this could have been avoided. However, the anti-vax idea of not vaccinating your children has got us to where we are today. Rather than this pandemic that we are dealing with, outbreaks all over the world, we could have kept this confined to maybe just within our country or the places where it originated. So far, we cannot allow this to spread even further, and we must go on from here.
Thank you, Matt, for tuning in with us. I wonder what a world measles-free would have looked like. Achoo! While this was a lighthearted explanation of measles, we do understand and recognize the tragedy that has surrounded it. Measles occurs worldwide and is the 5th most common cause of death in children 5 years of age and under. It occurs predominantly in areas with low vaccination rates, particularly in the developing world. During the pre-vaccine era, more than 90% of children acquired measles by age 15. In 1980, measles caused approximately 2.6 million deaths per year. But after vaccinations, it has prevented 20 million deaths in the 21st century.